Then the third word is the when, as I said. So then where you are today is indicative of where you were in the past. So if you live in the past, you'll stay in the past.
Absolutely.
So if you don't change your mentality, change your attitude, change your behavior, where you are today will keep you where you are. And then who is very important. The three letters in the alphabet, WHO and HOW, those are interchangeable. So who you are and how did you get to become who you are? It's like heart and brain together, who and how. So when people ask, well, who am I? Then you ask, well, how did I become who I am? You understand? So then it goes back to the foundation of why again. So the Discover Your Why book became, for me, my lifelong journey that I give about my testimony, which at 18 years old, brutally raped, left on the side of a road. By the time I was 22, I had married my childhood sweetheart, was able to give birth to my desire, son and a daughter. But right after that, the doctor said, you can't have any more kids because I was so brutally, and they didn't understand why I was even able to bring to bear two children. But after that, because of a weak heart, at 22, then I had a total hysterectomy because of the rape and the brutality of it all. So this book was the why I am still here and why I have a testimony to help people understand that where you began is not where you will end if you search out your why. So my evangelistic, that you asked the question, is simply evangelizing the gospels of Jesus Christ to let people know that Jesus is real and that no matter how serious and how difficult it may seem to you, God is always there to answer because he said that I am the great I am. And if you submit yourself to God and say, God, I don't have the answer. That is the key. I don't have the answer. So what is the answer to this why that I am confronted with?
Okay, guys, we're back with more of It's Janice. I'm your host, Janice McLean-Deloge. We came back with Dr. Chaplain Evangelist Eve Taylor.
Yes.
We had to take a break because when we left off, you were talking about a hysterectomy and,
Yes.
and how you got there. So can we just talk a little bit more from that point?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what happened was at the age of 18 and graduating from high school, my childhood sweetheart said, okay, you can go to college, but, you know, men change their mind, and I was unaware of anything about birth control and any of that because my dad was a Baptist preacher, and so he didn't believe in sex outside of marriage. So when I married my childhood sweetheart and told him after we had before I had the first child, it was 8 months in, I remember specifically telling him that I had been raped. And then he rejected me, picked me up, all my little bags and big belly and everything, and took me to my sister's house. But the command of love is powerful. So before the birth of our son, 2 weeks before we was given birth, we were back together. And unfortunately today, God rest his soul, he passed away. But when I told him about the rape, he rejected me. He thought, well, you lost your virginity to another man. It was very hard for him. And so then we had my daughter. And then the doctor said, you cannot have any more kids because I was born with a congenital heart issue. So I didn't give birth to them naturally. I had C-sections. So on the hysterectomy side, to get back to that, when the doctor did the hysterectomy, of course, I didn't know anything.
Right.
I'm 22. This is early 70s, okay? So who tell you that? So when the doctor finally told me 6 months after what had happened to me, well, I then understood why my husband was saying, you're not a woman anymore. And all of those things was very harsh. I took a bottle of Valium, 12 milligram, took 12 of those. And I didn't drink, but I was purpose that I heard them say, you don't mix alcohol with pills. So I took the pills and laid comatose. Doctor said, I would be brain dead.
Oh
Do I
my
look like
God,
I'm brain dead?
oh my God, you are just.
So anyway, I got through that, and so another time. So 3 attempts, let me just say it this way, 3 attempts to take my life. And so when God has mission and purpose for you,
You are meant to be here.
listen,
Yeah.
God wrote my contract on my life. But the only thing that I didn't know, that I was going to be involved in canceling it. So when God says you can't cancel what I have created, I got it through my head, and I was very angry with God for some time. Like, why would you keep me here if I'm so mad with you? And I kept hearing Miles Monroe say, there's somebody out there one Sunday morning with a purpose. And I was listening, and I just started weeping and crying. And then I began to ask God, so what is my purpose since you're going to keep me here? And I was very vehement about it. What is this purpose? What is this purpose? And so as time goes on, we don't understand the journey that we're on. And you ask me, how can I be calm?
Oh my God, I'm just sitting here. This whole thing, I like to think that I've got it all together most days. Some days I don't know. I've never, your whole story is a testament to the power of God, the power of the will. You're beautiful.
Well, what happened is the rapist that raped me.
And that bothers me. Every time you say that.
Yeah. Every time I think about it, I was a young girl, 18 years old, my very first job, working at Flamingo Cafeteria in Miami, Florida. And this older man, I'm 18, he was at least in his early 40s. It was storming, Hurricane Cleo was coming. He said, I'll take you home. A bad decision could change your life. But I look at now my life, my testimony, and where God has brought me. We don't know the tragedy that will occur in your life that will make you like an oak tree later in life.
This is so true.
And so I had to forgive him. I left Miami one day, I thought I saw him, his facial expression, I could remember that. And when I thought I saw him, I packed my kids' bags, everything, and I left Miami as fast as I could leave. So then I relocated to Atlanta. And so after having forgiven myself, because I thought I did something wrong, I forgave him. And then I forgave my husband. And I began to talk to myself. I am greater than my